Hey guys, it's Chase Craig here, and today I'm just trying to think to myself for a second, and because it's getting worse. And let me explain exactly what I'm talking about. It really got me thinking about, I think it was earlier today, it was a video from Bobby Burns that he was talking about having what he could only describe as mental breakdowns, and it got me thinking because I think it was earlier this year I started having mental breakdowns of myself, and it's not necessarily from being burnt out, because I've been burnt out several times before. Yeah, and I think ultimately I started on this platform, and I started with the intent of being a video creator, with because I've always been a filmmaker and I've always been an actor, but honestly, being a video creator makes more sense to me. Make several videos that I'm sure would do better than this, just on like the video why I choose not to be a mainstream actor. Although that's not necessarily true. Why I choose not to be a mainstream director, or which is not necessarily true. Or why I choose to leave Netflix, which is definitely not true. If I was welcomed into Netflix, I would never ever leave. I could probably do several videos. Why I choose to be an independent artist, which, for the record of any YouTuber who makes a video saying why I choose to be an independent artist, they're not choosing to be independent artists. They don't really have another choice, but nevertheless, all of this kind of plays on my psyche, and it plays on my mental state, where I don't know any time during the day. I feel like I don't have any time to do anything. I'm being pulled at all directions, from one place to another place, from one person to another person. And I've already talked about this before in hopes that it would get better, and it just keeps getting worse. And I know that I'm going the road of being the conspiracy guy, talking about conspiracy theories, but it definitely feels like a conspiracy theory that happens it happens like a coincidence every single second of every single day. I get any time to myself, any time I get to myself, that I'm not having to run people around. I'm helping people, everyone in my family, from one thing to another, helping people with pill and drug addictions who are too pretentious to understand that they have a pill addiction, that they can't function unless they have pills, but they don't want to be called an addict. God forbid. With the narcissism of everyone wanting to feel like they're in charge, and feel like they're in control, and feel like they can do everything and that I can't do anything. Subsequently also having to have me around to do everything, because there's everything that they cannot do, which comes out of ego. Now it comes to me in my life, my career. Every single day, I'm constantly trying to find time to create content, trying to think of a video, and the only time I get to myself is a few moments that I end up just quickly just talking to myself, trying to figure out what can I do real quick, and then then I'm spiraling into a real mental breakdown, where I'm balled up in the corner, screaming, crying to myself because I can't figure out what's going wrong. And then it's something else, because it's one thing after the other. The only times I get to myself is times like this. It's 9 o'clock at night. And again, 9 o'clock at night isn't the best time to be a video creator. There's a lot of nighttime shots I can get, but I'm not necessarily a nighttime video creator. I'm sure any fans of mine would notice that my content has been getting like darker, and sometimes it may be more depressed and everything, and this is kind of the reason why, is because of all this that I'm having to deal with, that just to find time to try to be a video creator, and at the same time being pulled away from that time that I have. If I have 2 minutes to myself, everyone's trying to pull at that, to where I have no time left. And then still yell at me that I'm doing nothing. And then wonder why I have suicidal thoughts. which I've had suicidal thoughts. Then they've gotten better. And then since the dementia started, the screaming and the anger and the criticizing everything got worse. And now the suicidal thoughts get worse, but they don't want to have to hear that because, well, maybe I have a problem. Oh no, I can't have a problem. I'm just a bad guy. Yeah. It gets to a point where it puts me in a position where I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. And I continue to try, and I continue to try to find time or try to do whatever it takes to manage. One thing that I hear voices sometimes, and it's one thing that I feel like I'm being mentally attacked at all angles. It it's one thing dealing with my own demons, but then it's on top of that, all the family matters, and on top of that, and on top of that, and on top of that. And feeling that everyone has is that I don't matter. A constant feeling is that I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to do everything for everyone. I'm not gonna say like everyone that I'm helping throughout my life isn't grateful for whatever I do. It's moments and sprinkles of gratitude. Moments and sprinkles of gratitude, just enough to forgive themselves from screaming at me so they can get right back to screaming. Constantly, consistently, I'm trying. I'm trying my best. I continue to try my best. And the more that I try, it's not that I'm being held back. No, I am being, it's whatever it takes to hold someone down, whatever it takes to viciously put our hands around someone's throat and strangle the life out of them. Whatever it takes to stop them from being able to, if there's something they want to do, we can't let it happen. All these feelings kind of started happening recently, this year. I'm going to try to be better and get back to what it's supposed to be. Of course, one thing I was thinking about doing today is a reading mean comments video, which would be fun. But one thing I would like to do before I do that one is please leave some more comments on the videos. Hit the like button and subscribe. I know I say that all the time, and that's kind of a YouTuber lingo, but it's really important that you guys do that because it shows that what I'm doing matters, and it gives my life purpose because my life has no meaning. My life is empty without the hollow fulfillment of. My life is completely empty and meaningless without the hollow fulfillment of you, the likes of you anonymous people. I do not. Mental breakdowns. I have had, I've been prone to having mental breakdowns and being depressed, but it's not unmanageable. I've managed it. I've continued to manage it, and it's not debilitating by any means. It's just it's a mental illness that people need to understand is something to be taken seriously. If you have any doubts about your mental health, it is something you shouldn't take lightly by any means. And one thing I've always felt is no matter what trials or no matter what bad things I have in my life, I've been extremely lucky in everything that I've ever learned, anything I've ever done. I've been able to learn lessons very easily and very quickly. And most of that is because of my faith, but a very not just my faith, but being grateful. Just my faith, but being grateful for what my faith is about. And again, I've said it before, and I'm not going to go on a Christian tirade or anything, but whether you're Catholic or you're Christian, or even if you're atheist or Muslim or anything, this faith that I'm talking about isn't really a religious faith. It can be a faith in whatever it is that you have faith in, and a gratitude for life. My entire life, I have stood very close to the fire, and I've taken a lot of chances on different things, it's always paid out for me. It's always worked. Anytime I always get close to burning, I always get pulled back to safety. And it's that faith and that gratitude is the reason. I guess that's good for me to end this video on a positive note. And just to have an update for why things have been going the way they are, and a positive note for the future kind of thing. I don't want to give up. I don't want to stop, and I don't want to quit. It's not the algorithm that's the problem. It's you people are the problem. Because you're not liking enough. I'm kidding. The algorithm isn't the problem. The problem exists here in the real world, where simply finding the time and the ability to create this content that I want to create. And then from there, not just finding the time and the ability, but being able to create the right content. So here I pose a question to you. Am I doing the right thing? That's the question I posed to each and every one of you. But only positive responses are allowed. If you do not think I am doing the right thing and you want me to give up, hit the dislike button. But if you want me to keep on producing, which I'm going to be doing either way, hit the like button and tell me in the comments, because that's the best way for me to know how to keep this going, because I don't want to stop. Like, specifically, tell me in the comment section, what do you want to see from the channel? What type of content do you want to see from me? Out of everything I've ever done, I started doing the Cinevolution series for a little while. That was fun.
Ultimately, by the end, I got burned out. I couldn't do the Sinful series anymore. I tried to do it again, I couldn't. Because I burnt myself out on it. Although, I don't think I was good at
doing that anyway, but it was a good excuse to just try to